Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sasquatch's live stream of the Wild Goose Trail Festival here in Wayanda State Forest on the border of New Jersey and New York. Once again, I am your host, Elmani S. Viney, and I'm coming to you with Sunrise from Sasquatch. So, quick update. It is now about 7:15 ish, and we have our 100 milers that are still coming in. A lot of our 100K runners have already finished the course. Our 50 milers also, majority of them, I believe all of them, have finished the course. I'll do a quick update on that. Our 36-hour milers are still out. 36-hour milers, they're still out there on the course as well. This morning at 7 a.m., we just kicked off our 50K runners, so they're out and about. Around 9 a.m. today, we're going to kick off our 10-kilometer runners as well as our half marathon runners as well. And I believe we also have a kids run. So we have a really hectic and exciting day coming up. We got about overall 200 to 300 more people actually coming in for the day. The tents are still up. I gotta say, I got a little damp last night. Little condensation into a lot of tents, but we're making the best of it because we're trail runners and ultra marathoners. But that's not the story for the interview. The story of the interview is I'm getting an opportunity to interview one of our 100-kilometer finishers, Fra. And Fra, congratulations.
Thank you.
So, Fra, what time did you finish?
I finished around 6 a.m.
So you finished around 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Let's first talk about the race itself, especially that you ran pretty much 24 hours. You came close to.
Yeah.
So, what I want to know, and I'm pretty sure the people out here, especially novices to trail and ultra, what is that experience like? Well, tell me this: is this your first 100 kilometer?
My first 100 kilometers, the longest I had gone before was 39 miles.
Okay.
So I did almost twice what I had done before.
Okay.
I'll say I had a great daytime. Like I felt like the loops here were very runnable. So I really felt good in my body and just kind of went after it. And then at sundown, things changed a bit.
So tell me about that. How did things change?
Yeah, I was a little bit slower, a little bit colder, and then a couple of the loops were a little bit harder to navigate in the dark. And so it's just like pace-wise, it was just like a little bit slower overall. And then you have to kind of take care of your feet and change clothes, and so that time added up. But there was a moment where I was like, I don't know that I'm gonna finish. So having crossed the finish line in 23 hours is a big accomplishment. Yeah, and I've only been running for a couple years, so this is pretty major for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's tap into that. And again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and tap into that. I'm interested to know from sunset, from the sun being up to sunset, you said things changed. Did the difficulty or the challenge of the loops change? Meaning, were there loops during the day? I'm just curious if the loops during the day, did the challenge of them change? Like maybe the pink loop may have been easier during the day, then you found it harder at night. Was there any shifts? What was the more challenging ones at night?
I think the blue loop was a little bit challenging already in the day, and so if I went back in time, I would try to push my pace to try and do the blue loop in daytime. Because I think psychologically it was like the evening started, I went onto the blue loop, and it took me a really long time, and so that was a little bit demoralizing. But every single loop was just harder, and a little bit is like you can't quite tell when uphill is gonna start, and then you're going uphill, and you need to change your pace. Versus during the daytime, you can kind of like, at least I run the flats and the downs and then walk the uphill. And psychologically, it's really helpful to see like, okay, I can push the stretch because there is a little uphill, and I'll catch my breath there. And in the evening, I just didn't have those references. And I didn't have a pacer during the night. I think that might have maybe would have changed things for me a little bit. But Yeah, I mean, it was I had done a training run in the evening, so the
Okay.
darkness didn't freak me out too much. It really was more the terrain and navigating
Really?
the rocks and the, yeah, you can only see as much as you can see, so that was the challenging part for me.
So I'm going to give viewers an insight into the course, especially the blue.
Mhm.
Because so just for everybody to understand, we would love to take you into the course to actually show you the runners on the course. This is we're going to keep it authentic, keep it organic. This concept of live streaming Wild Goose, we came up with very, I don't want to say late in the game, but we came up with it, designed it, and when you look at trail races internationally or even nationally, you see them out on the course. It's a super big production. This production is director Shy and myself, with two cameras. So this is like old school back in the day, two turntables with a mic and the DJ and the MC. So that's why we can't take you really deep into the course. So my apologies, but I know the course. So what I'm going to do is try to bring you in on descriptions, okay? So I think this is great because I want to ask on the
Mhm.
Blue Loop, as
Mhm.
you and I know,
Mhm.
you have that long stretch of boards.
That's the
Th-
pink.
That's
I
the pink,
think
sorry.
you're thinking
There's a
about the
pink,
pink.
right? The
Yeah.
long stretch of boards that go for like
Yeah.
a quarter of a mile,
Mhm.
right? How did you handle that at
At night.
nighttime? Yeah.
I actually like the boards
Really?
because in
Wow.
a way it kind of kept it simple. Like
Okay.
you just kept your feet on the boards
Okay.
and just kept going. And I love the pink loop, like because the boards, you're surrounded by the greenery, and so
Right.
it was a little creepy at night. But the boards was I actually quite liked.
Okay.
Is the parts with the loose rocks and the roots
So
that becomes a little bit harder to navigate.
so the blue around the lake, right?
Yes, yes. You start out and you're like, cool, cool, and then it's like root central and and rock
Right.
central, and it's like, and again in the daytime you can kind of like move around, and I also had fresher legs, like,
Okay.
and my feet could kind of respond to the terrain differently, and in the at that point in the race for me, I was like, oh, my feet are not quite bouncing,
Right.
like, and I can't do like up and skip and kind of
Right.
like move that, swiftly. I was like, oh, all right, I guess this is the walking part of the race. So,
Got you.
yeah,
Got you. Wow.
yeah.
So tell me this. Talked about. I want to talk nutrition and gear.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have to change your shoes at any time?
Yeah, so I changed. Um, I had three pairs
Okay.
because my feet do swell up pretty significantly.
Okay.
And so I start in a pair, and then I kind of have increasing sizes almost, and
Right.
like width.
Okay.
So that's my personal, like, that's what's worked for me, and
Okay.
that's worked this time. And then I pre-tape where I know where my hot spots are gonna be,
Okay.
and so that kept it as good as it can be. Like, I still have, I'm sure at my last socks change, I was like, oh, a blister I didn't know was there, and then and you take care of it, and it's the battle scars. So I just walk around with my free toes today and show them around.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So and what about nutrition? How did that?
Yeah, so I had kind of planned out. I use Cliff energy blocks. They
Mhm.
work for me, and so I knew that I had to kind of take a stick, so 2 portions
Okay.
for every loop, more or less. And
Okay.
so that was my baseline. And then potatoes were my best friends. And I had them mashed, and I had them fried, and I had them baked.
Shout
so
out to the aid station.
Yeah,
the
the aid
potatoes
station.
have been on point the
Really.
whole race, the whole weekend.
Really, really good. Yeah, and then I had some snacks so that when I was on the chair, like getting crude, I could also, snacks and pretzel thins, like just like a combination. And then water-wise, I had a liter with me, and again, I tried to drink the full liter at every loop, and that
Gotcha.
kind of like kept it simple for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because the loops are different in duration,
Okay.
but not so much that I felt like I needed to change. And
Okay.
even if I drank a little bit more on the shorter loop, then it was like good credit for the longer loop, and it really kept it easy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you keep water or was it electrolytes?
I did mostly water, and
Okay.
I used salt chews, and then I
Okay.
did one flask of the scratch, which I
Okay.
actually really liked. Usually it makes me a little burpy
Okay.
electrolytes, so I keep
Keep
it
it
to
light.
water. But scratch worked out for me. I'm not saying it, and they're not paying me, but they're the sponsor, so I think I'm gonna give them a shot
Okay.
going forward.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then I just made sure to salt like everything that I had. Like
Okay.
that also seems to work pretty well for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And then I think for me, I mean, the advice that I give is like, just try things out before race day. You don't have to go 100 kilometers to try things
Yeah.
out, but like anything that's longer than your typical, like even the shorter ones,
Right.
is like try different things and see how they sit on your stomach
Okay.
and like how it feels, and like try to keep it down to no, I don't do no new things, but like as few new things as possible. Like I
Wow.
had broth for the first time at this race because
Okay.
it was kind of chilly at night. I was like,
But
okay,
that's safe though, broth.
Yeah.
I think you can get away with like the broth, that type of liquid. I think where the problem comes in if you're introducing a new type of protein into your system,
Oh,
especially
interesting.
is something where it takes more time to digest,
Yeah.
especially when you're already using all your muscle and body functions to just run.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I want to change gears though. Could you show everyone the
Yeah.
back here? And it says, trans athletes belong everywhere.
Yeah.
Thank you. So one of the cool things was, remember I talked to you yesterday. I saw, we were doing interviews and I went up to the aid station to steal food because I was starving.
Yeah.
And I saw, the back and I was like, oh, this is kind of dope. I said, absolutely got to get you in for an interview. And,
Thank you.
we talked and I saw you again. This morning as I was running to the restroom, I tried to hold it off for as long as I could not. And I was like, look, we're setting up. And you said, and I asked if you were leaving because I know some people were like, okay, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But you're like, no, because you have somebody running in the 50K.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Yeah, my wife Claire and my good friend Lexi, they're both running the 50K. So they paid it forward yesterday, crewing me and keeping me fed and sane throughout the day. And so today I'm returning the favor.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and
Gotcha.
it's going to be a fun day out here. I'm excited about the kids going through. It's like going to be a nice scene.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yeah, but I'm identify as non-binary, and I also identify as trans.
Okay.
And I think it's important for me when I'm out on the trails to just kind of advocate for more inclusion
Right.
in trail running, and like I was lucky enough, like I came here and this race is very inclusive, and they
Yeah.
have the division and the
Yep.
podium, and really I felt really safe coming in.
Well, I got to give you congratulations because you did
Thank
win the
you.
non-binary.
First
You did.
and last.
Yes,
Come
that is.
out next year. I really should not be first.
I hear you.
Yeah,
No, stop
yeah.
it. You
No,
did a great time.
Well,
No,
I would
give
be
yourself
I
props.
would be very happy to be fourth out of 10
I
next
understand what
year.
you're
You know,
talking about, though. But no, you better enjoy that first.
Yeah,
place.
yeah. I'll take it anytime. But yeah, I'm new to ultra running, and
Right.
I'm finding that not every race has a division, and
Right.
sometimes they have the division, but they will not have a podium, which is kind of strange. And so when I find something that seems to kind of put their policies where their values are, I
Right.
try and show up. And so this was an easy choice for me and for my wife. It felt like a good fit.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. I'm interested here, definitely. When me and you talked before the cameras rolled on, you talked about engaging in conversation. Did conversations come up on the trail? What were they like?
Yeah, so in my experience is the folks that agree that will engage, which in a way it's like safe, like
Right.
feels nice for me. I would definitely engage if someone
Especially
was
if you're out in
more
the woods.
yeah,
Yeah.
if someone was like more curious or
Right.
had question. But typically it starts with like, I like your sign. But yesterday, someone who's running the 100-miler
Okay.
actually went out of her way to run a little bit with me and tell me about her experience as a teacher in Texas, and
Wow.
just like really telling me, like demonstrating support, and just like cheering me on. And then we just had an interesting conversation about the state of the U.S. and in particular, like I got to learn about her experience as a teacher in Texas, and it was like, okay, that's very different, and not that I didn't know, but it's different
Right.
when you hear it directly from a person. And I think I try to be the person that like maybe is like, you need to know 3 to 7 people from a
Right.
category to kind of feel more connected, or for that
Right.
category
Right.
to become more humane. And so like if I can have a conversation while I'm doing something that I love, and for folks to understand more about like the trans experience and the
Right.
non-binary experience, I'm happy to do that.
So now that's interesting because I'm an educator also.
Mhm.
So on one hand, you're out there because you want to share your story,
Mhm.
but in an interesting way, it loops around where you become the listener for other people's plight about trans,
Yep.
binary, LGBTQ, and they may be heterosexual and
Mhm.
straight, but they're advocates for, they're protectors of
Yeah.
people of that group.
Yeah.
And it's like, let me tell you, my challenges, not with the group, but
Mhm.
in their protection of. That sounds
Yeah.
like that's what happened
Yeah,
with the
definitely.
teacher from
I
Texas.
hear a lot of allyship, and I think
Yes.
in this moment, for me personally, it's very nice to be reminded that like good people that get it and that will show up for me and my community are all around us.
Wow.
And so I think, yeah, I learn, I get to hear, I get to share. Earlier yesterday, someone saw my sign, like Penny, who I think she's in her 60s,
Oh, Penny. Yeah.
running under miles.
Penny's the homie.
Famous Penny.
Uh-huh.
And, as soon as I said, like, oh, yeah, tomorrow my wife is going to run, it's like, went out of her way of showing me her rainbow, like, band, and just like, again, it gets political pretty quickly.
Right.
But for me, it's like, yeah, reassuring in a way, or gives me some hope.
Got you. Does trail running or being around here? I have a bias. I have a bias towards Sasquatch because I think Kim and the entire Sasquatch team is just so amazingly inclusive. I found that to be with trail running, at least in my experiences, just in general with trail running culture. But this is home base,
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Do you find trail running, or when you come to events like this, to be like somewhat of escape, especially with the current environment and current things that's happening in the country?
Oh yeah, I love a good day where I can't be on my phone, because otherwise I'll trip and fall, and I just have to worry about one step in front of the other. Yeah,
Right.
it's been definitely, it started out as, I wanted to give it a try. I grew
Right.
up playing sports, but never ran.
Okay.
And I have a couple friends that really love it, and I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. And then I really found it just like really, like it really works for me to
Okay.
have the practice. It's like the closest to a meditation that I get.
Right.
And so, yeah, when I get to be out here for a couple days, and between the support that I experience and the break from everything
Right.
else, is really grounds me. It really grounds me. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
That's great.
I really, yeah, I'm glad that I gave it a shot a couple years ago, for
I'm
sure.
glad. We're glad you're
Yeah,
here. We're glad
yeah.
you're here.
Thank
So
you.
I want to shift gears to your wife. Tell me your wife's name again.
Claire,
And is your friend? What's her name?
Lexi.
Lexi. Are they both running?
Yes, they're
Okay.
running right
So
now.
so you don't get a chance to get, because I'm going to wrap up soon, so you can get some rest. We talked about that, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna wrap up
little
soon,
nap.
so you can get in a little nap.
Yeah.
What's your crew strategy now that the shoe's on the other foot per se?
So as soon as I saw them, was like, okay, I'm gonna take a nap, and then I'm gonna do everything I can. And they're like, you just ran 100 kilometers, it's fine. But I like to, I know both of them pretty well, so mostly I think I'm a good mental coach, like
Okay.
encouraging, and so I'm looking forward to give them the pep talks and kind of keep them motivated.
Right.
And let them, debrief. I'm curious to hear what they think about the blue loop in the daytime.
Yeah, because that's the only time they'll see is during the day.
Yeah, exactly. Good for them. But yeah, and then similarly, like just check in, make sure they're eating,
Yeah.
make sure they're drinking, make sure they're peeing, just the full shebang. And they don't take care of my feed, but if they need help with the feed, I will step in and
Gotcha.
do that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I think it's I like they show up for me with the longer races a
Yeah.
lot, and they're very supportive. So today is a nice way for me to, pay it forward to them
Uh,
and support them
that's
and
beautiful.
extend my time out here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
it's
it's
pretty
fun.
great.
We've been camping. Yay.
Yeah, yeah. I can't
Anytime we
wait
go
for the
camping,
sun to be out
oh,
and
it's
drying
coming. It's
out.
almost there.
I know. Like,
It is almost
dry
there.
everything, dry everything,
Ain't
and
that
then
the
I'll
truth?
come and complain about the sun being out. But
Yes.
that's life.
I know. Well, from my fellow Italian friend, we
Yeah.
shared. You're from Italy. I lived in Italy as a Navy
Yeah.
brat for 3 years, so we got a chance to chat about that.
Small world.
Well, listen, indeed, always a small world,
Yeah.
right? There's a lot of good to that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good to
Yeah.
that. But listen, this has been a great interview. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate you sharing your
Yeah.
experiences.
For sure.
Before we close off, are there any organizations or anything that you want to advocate for, tell folks for that may
Yeah.
be watching the stream?
I think one that I really appreciate is Point of Pride,
Okay.
and they support folks specifically with who are wanting to transition.
Right.
That can be quite an expensive journey and a
Mhm.
lonely one, and so I really appreciate them. And they happen to have some folks running the New York City Marathon, so it may be fun to follow them
Okay.
or support their fundraisers for the New York City Marathon. So that's the one that I would highlight in this moment. But I think if you, I don't know where you're watching from, I think finding maybe a local one
Okay.
that's active in your community and showing up. Again, allyship really matters right
Right.
now.
I feel you.
And just showing up and demonstrating support however you can will go a long way. So
Okay.
yeah,
Beautiful.
local level. Yeah.
Beautiful. Fra, thank
Yeah.
you. I'm going to switch hands. Thank
Yeah,
you so
of
much.
course. Thank
I
you for
appreciate you.
making time for me
Okay.
and for waiting
Oh.
patiently.
Oh, that's what we have to do. To do otherwise would be bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, anyway, thank you so much and everything.
Thank you.
And- all right, folks. So we're going to get the day started again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go now. I'll see you around.
Fra is going to go nap. They are going to nap. Get your nap on. A long one. All right. So let me just put this down here. So that was, in my opinion, absolute great interview. So what we're going to do, I need to eat breakfast. It's a little cold, but actually dewy, a little musty, but that's okay. Like I said, the 50K has gone off. We got the kids race coming up at 9. We have the 10K coming up. We have the half marathon, I believe, also coming up. We got some other cool, compelling interviews today. And also going to read some more of the stories that were sent in. But for right now, go ahead, get your coffee, cook your breakfast. We'll set a time for when we come back later on. Absolutely going to try to get some more of the stories from people about what it was like to run overnight from our 100Kers, our 36-hour people, and our 100-milers. So we're going to call probably that segment, Wild Goose in the Dark during the day. I don't know. I'm coming up with names. We're keeping it authentic. We're keeping it organic. All right, folks. So we will be back in a few. Me, Director Shy, and once again, this is Sasquatch Trail Running Wild Goose Trail Festival right here in Wawayanda State Forest on the border of New Jersey and New York. I am your host, Mr. Elmani S. Viney. Peace.